Hey guys, this is me doing my second part of my video today. Um, I always have a plan when I start doing the videos and my mind goes eight different places. So I apologize if I talk too much about one subject or don't enough about another. But what I wanted to talk about my second one today, um, actually I might even make this my first one. I might even play this one first. So this is recorded second. I'm going to play it first, I think. But a couple things I wanted to talk about today on this part of the video was on this journey, um, I met really some really tremendous, amazing people that have touched my life and my family's life, and will be friends for a long, long time. Um, One of the things I've talked about is uh, some of the charities I was hoping to raise some money for. That didn't go nearly as well as I had hoped, but um, it goes back to cancer, and I heard a story this morning. I'm a big sports fan, so when I tell sports stories, a lot of times I try to. It's a story with sports at the background, but there's another message there, and I think that's what this one is as well. But so from a sports story, there's a few things to talk about, and again, I think it goes back to pointing the thumb in some ways, and not immediately, but I'll get there. So a young man that plays for the University of Texas basketball team named Andrew Jones, and he had to stop playing ball. Not sure if it was 2 years ago, 18 months ago, but he was diagnosed with leukemia, and he ended up beating leukemia and making his way back to the basketball court. And to anybody, to everybody, there's not a person on this video that's watching. There's not a person that can walk out in the general public and put my hand on their shoulder who can't tell me they haven't had someone in their life affected by cancer. But for me, cancer is just a terrible, terrible thing. But more than that, when it hits the kids, it really is upsetting to me. That's why one of my charities was St. Jude's Children's Hospital. Um, and again, those of you that don't know, I lost a brother to cancer. He was 19 years old. So that strikes with me. So anyway, kudos to you, Andrew Jones, for making it back and beating it. It was great to see the reception that they gave you. Um, in addition to that, though, on the journey, as an example, before I left, I have a dear friend, not a journey friend, Andrea, who, while I was on the journey, was diagnosed cancer-free, at least for now. I know these people go back repeatedly. So, it's so uplifting to hear and share these stories. Um, Along the journey, I met Eric in Tulsa, Oklahoma, and his motto is, "I will not sink," and he's beaten this. I met Margie Jacobs, who's one of the most amazing people, not friends or journey people, one of the most amazing people you'll ever meet, who has beaten it and been diagnosed. I met Chief Gene Rourke out in Missouri, um, who has beaten it while I was on the journey. The results came back. It's been so eye-opening when you have a small clutch of friends and family. Obviously, when one of those friends gets hit with it, it's hard to think your world is falling in. But this impacts so many people. Um, Trying to think there are others that beat it, and unfortunately there are others that haven't beaten it. And again, my brother, another dear friend in the journey's sister, and his brother's sister-in-law, of course. Um, it's just a brutal thing. But on that note, if you follow sports right now, there's a story in the NFL, and it's one of the biggest stories. There's a running back for the Pittsburgh Steelers named Le'Veon Bell, and he's a terrifically talented athlete. And um, the way the NFL works is you could limit someone's earning potential by giving them this kind of tag. Now they make plenty of money, but on a free market they would make a whole lot more. So um, in a business practice, he and his agent decided to uh, hold out this year in an effort to force his company, the Steelers' hand, to pay him in a long-term deal and give his family the financial stability that it wants. Well, in the meantime, the Steelers hardlined it and didn't pay him, so Le'Veon Bell has not been playing football. In the meantime, there's a gentleman named James Conner who's playing so well, his numbers have surpassed what Le'Veon Bell did last year. But James Conner is the person I want to talk about. I haven't fact-checked any of this, but I have a pretty solid memory. My memory is that James Conner attended high school in Allentown, Pennsylvania, so I'd heard about him from there, just in the local stuff. But he went to the University of Pittsburgh, and he was a terrific athlete and doing fantastic. And then he was diagnosed with cancer, and clearly he's beaten it, and he's playing in the NFL, and he is not just playing, he's excelling to the point that here's where my point in the thumb part comes out. I almost wish, it seems like now when you talk about him, you can't talk about his accomplishments without talking about the other fellow, Le'Veon Bell. And that's where I have this issue. And then when I do talk about James Conner, you never, ever, I shouldn't say ever, I'm sure small news stories, but this young man has beaten cancer and is becoming something that could be a poster child for that. There's another NFL athlete named Eric Berry, who's a terrific player for years, coming back this week from beating cancer. Again, imagine you're 26, 27, 28 years old and you're diagnosed with this stuff, and you think you're the fittest athlete in the world. You never know where tomorrow's going to come. You never know what happens tomorrow. Certainly enjoyed today, but I really wish that it's kind of like this problem I've had along the journey when I was hoping to be covered a little bit by some media with some positive, change the world kind of stuff would have been so helpful. And as Scott Redding had said, hey Jim, if you go out and kill somebody or burn a flag, you'll have all the coverage you want, but try to do something good and nobody wants to talk to you. So it's kind of like this here. It's a smaller thing, I get it, but James Conner has not only gone on to beat cancer, which is something of a miracle of itself, but he's gone on to achieve great heights as a professional athlete, and that could do so much in terms of hope for people that are suffering, can do so much for hope for the young kids, so much for families and doctors. Say, look at him. Sunday afternoon, watch that man. He was where you were, and you can do it. And I'm not saying they should be covered on every time they mention the guy's name or anything like that, but I sure wish that there would be a little bit more coverage of it that way. That could be done. Hope is such an amazing thing. Belief is such an amazing thing. I had my own issues with belief and coming to light on this journey for myself, and I can speak firsthand about that. But anyway, James Conner, running back for the Pittsburgh Steelers, leading the league in a lot of categories. I think he's probably only 24, 25 years old and beat cancer just a few years ago. And I wish he and that would get a little bit more publicity than, hey, when is this other guy going to come back and what's going to happen when he comes back? It'll all work itself out, guys. It always does. The other thing that I want to talk about as the second part of this video today, I covered a little stuff on the other video. The other thing I want to talk about is, I try not to talk politics or religion. They're two very subjects that are just polarizing to people. People will shut you down. And on the journey, I've asked folks to point the thumb quite a bit. And I've always said I could never do politics and wouldn't do politics. And I shared a video way back in the day as to why. You guys can ask me why, and I'm more than happy to share it with you. Anyway, I'm naive still to the point that I think people vote on the issue. People vote on the issue. And unfortunately, our political system is not like that. You vote Republican or you vote Democrat if you're in the House, right? When they were trying to do the Kavanaugh appointment, it was really hardlined. 48 or 49 Democrats didn't want him. 48 or 49 Republicans did want him. And it wasn't individuals. It wasn't like it was, 24 Republicans didn't, 25 didn't, and vice versa. It was across the board. And it came down to just one or two people that, whether they were, Republican, were they going to vote him down, or whether they were Democrat, whether they were going to vote him in. And it was these one or two representatives that were going to be the swing votes. And so we have a political system right now with a Republican president. It was a Republican House, and one of my beefs with politics is, again, vote on the issue, make the right decision based on the issue. obviously we all have our beliefs, right? That's why you're leaning to the left or leaning to the right. It's why you're red or you're blue. It's why you're Republican or Democrat or independent, or libertarian or whatever you want to be. So obviously you slant that way. But I have to imagine that even the most hardline Democrat can see some of what a Republican says, and even the most hardline Republican can see some of what a Democrat says. And there's got to be a few things in there that they say, you know what, I'm not going to go with my party lines this time. I have to do what's right for me and the people in my district that elected me and do the right thing. And I've always had kind of this issue with politics as that happens, right? And then here I am doing a video, watching the news, and I was really disturbed by something. I'm watching somebody basically stand up and say, hey, it was a Democrat, and said, hey, we took back the House today. And look out, world, there's going to be a whole new, kind of political atmosphere. And I'm all about positivity. I'm all about, hey, congratulations, you've done what you've done. You've won and become the majority. But how can you sit here today, not having a bill in front of you, not having anything proposed to you, and proclaim, we did it, we're going to change things, right? To me, that says that people are already so excited to carry on an agenda without knowing the details. So, as much as I faulted any Republicans that were in that mindset, it goes both ways for the Democrats. Me personally, I was really disappointed to hear, and I don't know who it was, I kind of got the volume down. Woman standing up basically saying, hey, we're going to take back the House, everything's going to change now, or things are going to change. And it really bothered me, because, you know what, be quiet, you've done it, you don't have to call attention to it. If you want to make change, don't talk about the change you're going to make, just go do it. But do it on a case-by-case basis. Don't do it and say, hey, any Republican pushed bill, we're going to shoot down, and any Democratic pushed bill, we're thumbs up for it. Please look at it one by one. This is my problem with these representatives. They run in a district. They're voted by a district. They are there to carry on the voice of the district, of the people, right? The voice of the people. And I have a real issue that I think these people get elected, and then the people that elected them becomes secondary, and their agenda, or my party's agenda, becomes primary. And that's not the way it's supposed to work, at least not in my knowledge. So she's on TV right now, right here talking. I was really disappointed to hear that kind of approach, And it happened. When the Republicans won, we won. We're going to, everything's going to change. We're going to. And the other thing I am really concerned about, this is me speaking as just an American citizen, as proud as I am that we had record voter turnout yesterday. Wow. Let's say that we have a Democratic House right now. I think it's obviously we still have a Republican president, but I don't think they control everything. I think the Democrat controls one part of the House. But anyway, my point is, guys, if you don't already know it, we have a president that I could say has no problem almost acting childish and saying, well, I'm doing this just because. And now if you now take a group in the House and they become childish and say, well, we're doing this just because, we've lost any meaning and any hope of doing the right thing. And it's going to be, we're going to show you, and he's going to show them, and we're going to have this. And I just don't, put it in a personal relationship. If you've got, two people in a relationship, how long do you think that relationship's going to last if it's like that? It's not, guys. So, victory, loss, whatever you want to call the midterms yesterday, certainly I'm concerned about it. So that's my video for today. I'm going to shut up. Hope you have a great day. Thanks for following, and I love you all. Talk to you soon.